Okay, welcome to the Selectmen's meeting of December 20th. The first item on the agenda is to salute to the flag. Pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we need to approve the agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda.
Can I second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we approve the agenda. Next one is to approve the minutes of last meeting, which we will table until next week.
Okay, we don't have to say anything for the,
Nope, it's good enough for me.
Any department head or committee chair updates?
I have just the one, per the board's instruction. I did send out an email to road committee, and based on their responses, scheduled a meeting for next Thursday, December 29th at 6 o'clock.
Great, thank you. Any old business? We have emergency closure policy.
Yes, so we talked about this last week, and I think the only changes that I was really supposed to make was the title change, which I'll put on for next week. But I did, so we had a snow day on Saturday, and I did get a call from a resident that was quite upset that the transfer station, town hall were closed. So I didn't know if it would be helpful if we, kind of had a conversation like we've had in workshops in regards to, why the board or why the town feels like, this is the best policy, and it's not so much about, we can't get our people to work, because that's not really what it's about. So I didn't know if you wanted to elaborate on that.
You're right, people can get to work. However, I think the policy is based on keeping the people in town safe, people off the road, so the road committees, the road crews can move the snow and not have us in the way. It keeps everybody safe to not push it and be open. Obviously, it's not one person making the decision. There's several people making the decision based on some of the road crew that's already been out there. And
Right, and that's exactly it, and I like I said, I will call the individual back, but that was the stress from the board, was that when we talked about this last week in our workshop, was that it's not so much about us getting to work, it's, helping the road commissioners, helping law enforcement, keeping the roads clear. If it's gonna snow the entire time, yes, we live in Maine, yes, we can drive in it, but depending on when it starts and stops and turning to ice, I mean, keeping a bag of trash for another week or another day is not,
yeah, not everybody has four-wheel drive or snow tires on their car to get here.
it seems like if the school is closed, the town offices could easily be closed.
Right, but we have the vacations, and Saturday, for example, was Saturday, so
Yeah.
there was no school in session, but it, essentially started snowing about 4 a.m., and I don't think it stopped until about 3.
Right.
And it almost encourages people to come out when,
Yeah, I don't want to encourage people to come out and risk getting into accidents.
plan ahead.
Always check the website or call ahead. It'll be on the machine. The next item is removal of old sand and salt shed.
So last week, you asked me to reach out to CIA and find out if they would hold on to the bid. I did speak to an individual, and they asked for a couple of days for discussion amongst the owners or bosses, so they were gonna let me know before next Tuesday after the holidays as to
Okay.
whether or not they would grant the bid, if they'd honor it next year once we
Right.
go to budget, so.
Okay.
We're still waiting, because it was a really low number, right?
It was a good number.
Yeah. So hopefully next week we'll have an answer to that.
Okay, new business, the excise exemption policy.
So currently, the town has a policy that, that basically says one of two things when it comes to excise tax. It says that if you have Purple Heart plates, or you're being paid at 100% service-related disability, you can be exempt from excise tax. This probably makes up 3 to 5 people in the entire town. We were approached today by someone that was active duty military and wanted the board to consider adding that piece into the equation or into the policy to make them exempt as well. So, it literally just happened, so I haven't done much research on it as far as surrounding towns, but wanted to put it on there and get your thoughts.
It's something we should consider, however, I feel like we should do a little bit of research.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I can tell you, because we did some research when we created this originally, we are, as far as I know, last time we looked into it, the only town in York County that even makes Purple Heart or 100% veteran, 100% disabled veterans exempt. So what do you want me to look into? I mean, you want to see if any other towns do it, right?
Any other towns do it, how many people that may be in Acton that are in active duty, how much money that the town would be,
The fiscal impact.
fiscally impact on that.
Bill?
the plates on the individual, on the soldier's car, are those, they're not in Maine, right? Are they in Georgia, or?
No.
Where's it registered?
The individual, the law says that you register your vehicle where you claim residency. He is a Maine resident. He's just stationed in Georgia. So the vehicle is registered in Maine to match his driver's license, to match where he votes. So it's a Maine registration.
Okay.
And remember, the state does make disabled vet and Purple Heart plates exempt from the $35 registration fee, and that's kind of what we piggybacked when we first created this policy. They don't have any jurisdiction over excise tax, so that's strictly your decision.
It was set up for people that were disabled.
It was set up to kind of go in line with who the state, I mean, we figured if the state of Maine makes a Purple Heart recipient is an honor, that if they make them exempt from a registration fee, then we should certainly match that and make them exempt from excise. If they're getting paid at 100% service-related, they're also exempt from the state of Maine, so we made them excise. But there are no other exemption fees with the state. If regular veteran plates, for example, anybody that can provide a DD-214 can get veteran plates.
Right,
But they pay
that's all.
full,
They pay
other-
full.
right, they pay this full price, right. So how many active members, or how many active military people we
Yeah.
think we have in Acton, and what the fiscal impact might be?
Yeah.
And would you be looking at it just as far as while they're active duty in the military? I mean, it's not something, we wouldn't be able to continue it for all veterans.
Right, just active.
All right, so we're gonna table it
Well,
and,
we're gonna wait for Ed anyway to,
yeah, we gotta get some more information. I mean, I don't. Okay.
Next item, let's see, we have an after-the-fact code enforcement fees for 247-004.
Yep. So this is a property in town that I did ask you guys to meet with Ken briefly. Certainly, we didn't get into discussion about it, and stand by the fact that the board still doesn't know who the individual is, because I think all of that's irrelevant. But essentially, they are longtime residents of Acton. They came across some water damage in their house, and one thing led to another. They're a little older, and they just started fixing it. And by fixing it, they built an addition onto the back side. They had to take some drywall off, replace some walls, and they built a small addition. And we did all this without getting a permit, at the end of the day. So when code enforcement realized that this had happened without a permit, he did notify them by letter, the same method that he uses with everyone else. They came in within a week, paid the permit fee. He went out and started doing the inspections. They did need to take down some of the drywall, and so that he could do inspections in between. They were extremely pleasant, worked with him, did everything that he asked. And, we're putting it before you. The way that the policy reads is that they're required to pay 4 times the fee of the permit for a penalty. So you'd be looking at, what, $840. So we're requesting that, that be waived, or at least half of that be waived in this case.
And they had to take some of the sheetrock and.
They took the
and
sheetrocking down
insulation
so that he could do the inspection, and it was just, and they made a mistake. It wasn't deliberate, it wasn't, in other cases that, you know, that we've brought before you, you know, the way that it's written is that based on how the situation is handled and how they
Cooperate.
react and cooperate with it. And that's why I wanted Ken to, you know, speak to you guys directly, and this is a $200 fee.
Yeah.
You know, it's,
Yeah.
so,
But the suggestion
So,
is
to half,
put it to,
so half of the 840
correct. So 2 times, if we did 2 times the fee rather than 4 times the fee,
would be 420.
right, it would be a savings.
Do we have a motion on the table to waive half of the after-the-fact
I
fees?
move that we modify the fee and penalty by 50%.
So it's just gonna be,
To end up with a fee of $420.
I second. All in favor?
thank you. He will be very appreciative, and he has been, you know, I spoke to him just today for the first time, and honestly, I mean, it was just an honest mistake. He's sorry that he didn't go about it the right way. Now he knows, and it just kind of happened quickly, so he will appreciate that. Thank you. Minor details.
Okay. Do we have any public comment today? None. Seeing none, we'll move on to the announcements. We have the 2017 dog licenses now available, and those are due by the end of the year. So that's next week. Transfer station and the town hall will close at 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Bring your ugly sweater.
Bring your
Over
ugly
here.
sweater for their holiday celebration. The library is closed at 1 as well, instead of 2. The town hall will be closed this Friday, December 23rd, for Christmas weekend. And the transfer station is closed Saturday, December 24th, for their holiday weekend as well. And I think that's it. Do you have anything
Any
else?
questions from the floor? Any questions from the floor?
None.
Oh, Elise,
Transfer station will be open tomorrow from 10 to 1.
correct.
Okay.
Transfer station, 10 to 1 tomorrow. And they will be open the day after Christmas on Monday from 8 to 2.
Correct.
Okay. Do we move to adjourn?
Yes, ma'am.
That's it. I move that we adjourn.
I second.
In favor?
Thank you.